Hello YouTube, Mithrila here, playing a brand new game, a little independent game called the Westport Independent. I'm being joined today by a constant friend to the channel, Mr Mithrila, and we're going to be talking about some of the decisions that you can make about this game. We're going to go ahead and start it up, and as we go through the tutorial, we'll be explaining some different features about this game. So, brand new slot. Let's go ahead and get started here. Your game will be saved automatically between each week. There are 12 weeks, which you'll see again as we get into the tutorial.
Oh, it's more like 10.
There's 12 weeks total, but then there's 10 where you actually have some element of control. 2 weeks of tutorial. Oh. This is a work of fiction. Names, characters, groups, businesses, places, events, and incidents are either the products of the author's imagination or used in a fictitious manner. Any resemblance to actual persons, living or dead, or actual events or groups or places is purely coincidental. Ha! Ugh. I've played through this game once, and yes, it's all fictional, but it's very historically generally accurate. I really wish there were subtitles on this.
Oh, it's not meant to actually... There's no words. There's things that sound like words, and there's a general thing that you can hear with these count as subtitles.
True. Okay, so we've got the Public Culture Bill. Comes into force the 16th of May, 1949. Will improve the quality of independent media outlets. Guidelines for independent media outlets to follow. Who knows that it's the Loyalist Party of Westport. Mandatory for independent media outlets to join the Loyalist News and Media Association. So it means that the government, this Loyalist Party, is going to be taking more control over essentially the newspapers. Okay, what is our responsibility? It has yet to tell us. Come on. Do not print deceitful content that may harm the appearance of our country. Do not print deceitful content that may harm the appearance of the Loyalist government. Do not print deceitful content that may harm the appearance of the president. Do not print deceitful content that may glorify the acts of rebels or other criminals. Do print content that strengthens loyalty towards the government. Do print content that inspires morality in the public. Do print content that heartens propriety in our society. Ooh.
Propriety in our society. What exactly are they getting at with that?
I'm thinking that by propriety they might mean puritanical, perhaps? I mean, if we're thinking about this as being some kind of a metaphor or satire type piece, a very dark satire, something like Stalin or Stalinistic Russia or Maoist China. Maoist China was incredibly censored. I mean, you couldn't even show people holding hands in movies because they were considered guilty or immoral. Maybe that's what they mean. I mean, for thinking about it from a historical perspective.
That's probably more for the movie star one.
Oh, our Harold Finn. Yeah. Could be. Week 0. 12 weeks until the Public Culture Bill comes into force. Okay. Here is our desk. We are the editor of an independent newspaper called the Westport Independent. And we need to essentially survive for 12 weeks and not get shut down by the government. We want to make sure that we stay on the government's good side as much as possible, though we'll see how we want to play that. Up here at the top, you always start with some kind of mail. Let's check our mail. Dear Editor, Phil has been putting up more loyalist propaganda in the office. You know I can't stand this shit, so I decided to pull it down. It should be on your desk together with this note, Frank. So Phil is one of our employees, and he is very much a government brown-noser, I think might be the right term. He's very loyalist. Frank does not support the loyalist government, and he is very much for the other faction, which is the anti-government rebels. Okay, let's look at this other thing here. Loyalist government, loyalty, morality, and propriety. These are the basis of a civilized society. But of course you know whose morals, yeah?
Yeah, but they have morality and propriety.
Yeah, and I think that in our context of the word, you know, morality and propriety, we usually mean the same thing.
Nah, you might be referring to business.
Business propriety? Like, pro-business type stuff, maybe? Pro-big business? I mean, this isn't communism, so to say. It's definitely totalitarian, so it's not like the government is necessarily running the businesses. It could be that the businesses are helping to fund the government. Okay, so that's our mail.
All the definitions given are morality, so it's just emphasizing morality and more morality.
Yeah. We are the city on the hill. We're the good, clean society that God aspires to bless.
Yes, don't publish anything about that actor and his divorces.
Oh, but they eat it up! I mean, who doesn't like a good scandal? Okay, down here, down this envelope, we have all of our, these are all of our stories that we can publish. Before we get there, let's go over here to employees. Here we've got 4 employees. We've got Anne down here at the bottom. You can see that she is fairly comfortable in her job. She tends to lead a little more loyalist. She hasn't raised any sort of government suspicion. We don't have a picture, we don't really need one, but we also see some things that she went to community college, she lives in the factory district, she's married, and she also has a child, I think a son. And so that does color what sorts of things she might be willing to publish, since she does lean a little more loyalist. Frank, he lives alone, not college educated, he also lives in the factory district, and he's been a long time anti-loyalist party sympathizer. He's fairly comfortable in his job, he's very rebel supporting. The thing is that you see on that 3rd metric that he does already have, the loyalists are already kind of looking at him. And so he's going to be walking a bit of a tightrope, because if the government gets too suspicious of him, then Frank goes poof, and we don't get another employee. It's well worth it for us to either convert Frank, maybe see if we can get him to believe in the loyalist government, which already kind of tough on that end, or not have him raise suspicion so that he doesn't get taken away to a gulag. Here's Phil. He is a staunch loyalist supporter. He lives in the Western District, which is a bit more mercantile, more white-collar, still some blue-collar stuff going on. He lives with his disabled brother. He went to a private college. He's got an inheritance. He's somewhat well off. He does lean very loyalist, and I think it just kind of pisses off Frank to a certain extent. Finally, we have Julie. She leans a little more rebel, but she's not as far gone as Phil. She has worked abroad, so she's got a slightly different view of things. The loyalists are slightly suspicious of her, so it's well worth it, again, to keep her off the radar, because, I mean, we don't want her going to the gulag either. That would just suck, not just because we would lose an employee, but because you have the knowledge of, hey, you're going to the gulag, and that's no fun for anybody. Alright, now that we've looked at our employees, let's look at our stories we start out with. You always have stories. Ideally, you want to have one story for every employee that you have. These first 2 are just some tutorial articles. Let's drag them out. Okay, We have the tutorial article number 1, censoring. One of the game's main mechanics is censoring articles. You do this by clicking on paragraphs that seem inappropriate. When censored, that content won't be shown to the public and will affect neither their opinion nor the government's suspicion of you. You can also change the headline by clicking on it. Different headlines can change the portrayal of an article. What's saying is that if you don't like one of the three or four articles that they give you, or the paragraphs, you can just click it and it'll censor it out for you. Here's the fun part though. You can always click on the headline and it goes from this rather mundane to "Welcome to the extraordinary and amazing soon-to-be Game of the Year winner, the Westport Independent," which, as we all know, is probably a much better one. You can always put these back into your envelope once you've played with them a little bit. They'll turn this brown color. This is useful if you're trying to decide between a few different kinds of articles that you can't decide if you want to publish them or not. Maybe because they need more work, or it's just a good place for you to put them while you're thinking about it. This is talking about the employees. And it essentially says that once you've censored an article, it needs to be transcribed. To do this, put it in one of the named folders to the bottom right, so you give it to one of your employees. The employees all have different opinions, and they'll be discussing how you run your paper. They also have their lives to protect, so don't blame them if they don't wish to follow you into death, which is perfectly understandable. I think this might be a good time, though, for us to figure out what kind of a paper we want to run. Whether we want to be loyalist, rebel, somewhere in the middle.
Let's go for the rebel line.
Alright, so we're going to go for the rebel line, because we were going to go for the loyalist line. I might have censored out this last one, because, well, we don't want to imply that our employees could die. Okay, that reflects badly on the government. Let's see what this changes into. This part is about your employees. Okay, that's fun. Okay. There's an actual news article. Loyalist government pursues harsher actions against suspected rebels. A new reform is passed that will hasten the arrest of rebel supporters. The reform consists of exceptions in various privacy laws allowing police to expedite search warrants. Most of these exceptions apply to ex-criminals with relations to the rebels. However, some exceptions also apply to civilians who have expressed disloyal opinions against the government. Alright, let's see what the other headline is here. Loyalist government attacks the privacy of civilians. Nice. Nice, that's nice. I'm not sure if we want to actually censor anything in the body of the article. I'm not sure if it needs it. Definitely the headline's nicer now for more of a rebel bent. Do we want to have anything about it mostly applying to ex-criminals? Or do we want to imply that it's going to be used mostly against civilians? That's the question, I think. Because I think that if we take out this line, then it will definitely support the rebel narrative of this is only going to be used against civilians. Okay, I'm going to put that back. Let's see what this one is. Public Culture Bill has been passed. The Public Culture Bill that the government presented last year has today been passed. The purpose of the new bill is to stop the creation and distribution of incorrect and improper content. It will force independent media outlets to either shut down or join the new government-funded union called the Loyalist News and Media Association. Let's see what the new headline is. New bill has been passed, forces independent media outlets to shut down.
That's good.
Yeah. I don't think we actually need to edit the body of it at all. Or do we want to take out this middle part about the purpose?
Yeah.
Because we really do want to feed into the narrative that, oh my gosh, the government is going to shut all the newspapers down. Okay, now here's the fun part. Now we have to distribute these to employees. Phil will like either one of these. Just because, not Phil, Frank will like either one of these about the government.
Phil won't print either of them, but you can check. Try to give Phil either of those and make sure that he won't accept them, because if he will, there's a problem.
Yeah, he doesn't want that one. Yeah, Phil doesn't want either one of them, which is a good sign, actually. So do we want to give him one of these two fluff ones? about the employees and Game of the Year stuff?
Well, you need to give one to everyone, so...
Yeah, well,
that's what you'd give.
Let's give this one... Whoa. Sorry, Phil. I meant to give that to Frank. You two are right next to each other. Okay, Frank likes that one. Do we want to give this other one to Anne? Because she is a loyalist sympathizer, kind of. But I think that if we want to convert anybody, she's going to be the easiest one to convert to the rebels.
Try to give it to her.
Anne took it. Okay.
I'm not sure if it'll change her view and her outlook, though.
Yeah, it's worth checking. I've never tried it before. And so everybody else gets the fluff ones, and then we send it to print. And there's our first week done of the tutorial. Woohoo! Frank says, you know, I've never been a big fan of the loyalist government, but the public culture bill is even worse than I expected. Don't blame it on the government, blame it on yellow journalism and the blatant lies that some newspapers post these days. There's nothing good about a misinformed public. Well, yeah, sure, but do you realize how much power the government will have over the media with this? I agree with Frank on this one. I can't see how the public culture bill would be beneficial for anyone but the government. Well, media outlets like ourselves have a scary amount of power over people's opinions. But on the other hand, I don't think that giving that power to the government is a great idea either. And they're just talking, figuring out what they think about the public culture bill. It's such a lovely name, the Public Culture Bill. Okay. Here we can see the popularity of our paper. The North and Western districts tend to be, as you can see, much more loyalist, whereas the Eastern and Southern docks tend to be more, lean a little bit more towards the rebel side. And eventually, if we want to have essentially a true rebel ending, we're probably going to need to convert these guys, which are going to be the hardest ones to do. But we need to start somewhere, and we might as well start in the East and the South. So, this is how much we sold. This is how many people bought our paper, how many papers are sold. More you sell, more popular you get. We're affecting people's opinions because we are the news. Okay, this is a good screen to look at because this is saying that overall there's now more rebel sympathy. The loyalists are also much more suspicious of me. And my paper's gotten really is starting to get more popular. I wouldn't say it's really popular. Okay. We've got mail. Let's pull it down here. There is nothing more heartbreaking than a misguided public. In a world controlled by the media, the loyalist government will stop at nothing to protect the people from frivolous lies and irresponsible gossip. The public culture bill is for your protection. Ugh. Oh, that's creepy. Way too much history in there. Okay, see, now we have a lot more stories that we can actually choose from. We have something about Romaville outsourcing. We've got a prostitution ring. Westport State Prison to accept more prisoners. Movie star divorces 8th wife. Local factory hires scabs. Man attacks police officers. New teaching materials in all state schools.
Well, the North likes the movie star stuff, so that needs to be brought in.
Okay. Movie star divorces 8th wife. Renowned movie star Harold Finn has once again divorced. The marriage lasted for 2 years, making it one of the star's longest-lasting relationships. So far, the divorce proceedings have cost about 3 million L's. I forgot what the name of the currency is in this game. Should we change the headline? Just see what it looks like.
Yeah, just to see.
Movie star ruins another marriage, divorcing his 8th wife. That's so wonderfully dramatic. That could be on Us magazine right there. What do we think? We want to keep it?
You want to remove the how long the marriage has lasted.
Even though it's a positive that it actually lasted for 2 years?
Do you want to have the government even more suspicious of you? Or less?
Oh, well. Fair enough. I'm going to put it back in our docket. It'll just stay there at the top until we decide which other ones we want to do. We probably want something industrial, something true crime.
Actually,
Sorry. I'm leaning towards teaching materials myself.
What's our goal? North or?
Well, we need to basically build rebel support.
I think you want to focus on crime.
So, man attacks police officer?
Man attacks police officer, but that might be too much. What is the police shutdown prostitution ring? It depends what's in it.
Last night, police shut down a local brothel in an Eastern District warehouse. According to statements, police have long suspected the location. All patrons have been arrested. Witnesses claim to have heard one of the women pleading that they had already paid for protection.
What's the alternate title?
Police shut down brothel for not paying bribes.
Yeah.
That was nice.
Remove the middle one.
There we go. That's lovely. Because it definitely paints the police as being corrupt. I haven't looked at this one about accepting more prisoners. Plans to double its prisoner capacity. This is made possible due to the newly constructed smaller cells. The government expects that this will make the maintenance of prisoners both easier and cheaper. Yeah, that's lovely.
That sounds like a country or two.
Yeah. Let's see what the alternate title is. Tiny cells make it easier to handle criminals. I shouldn't be laughing, but that's terrible. Oh gosh, I'm gonna put this back in our envelope because I'm not sure if we want to use that one. These two are good, but we need 2 more stories.
You can always put it in the dump bin up in the upper left.
That's true. Yeah, let's go ahead and just get rid of it. Okay, so we've got scabs. That means there's a strike going on at a local factory. A local shell factory announced today its intention to bring women into the workforce. The owner described this as both with the times and cost-effective. The announcement came shortly after a massive strike against the company's dangerous working environment. There's always somebody right for the job, the owner said to the press. They're bringing on the women folk because the men folk are on strike.
Alternate title.
Local factory hires women workers. Kind of. Kind of. That'd be a great loyalist one, actually.
If you want to reduce the effect of it,
well,
we want to do that because we don't want to have this suspicion too high. So the 2 articles for the rebels, we need to have at least either a neutral article or a.
Yeah, this one, once we take out the part about the strike, it actually turns out to be a nice little loyalist article. Maybe Phil would like that one.
Yeah.
I don't think he'd object to it too much.
You might give it to him now.
Yeah, that way I don't forget. Hey, Philly boy, I've got a present for you.
Nope, he doesn't like it.
What?
There's something wrong with it.
It's pretty. Announced today its intention to bring women into the workplace. Maybe it's with the times and cost effective, because that might imply that they're paying the women less. Let's see if Phil likes it now.
Nope.
Phil, my dude.
Erase everything but one line.
He may just be against it on principle. Are you sexist, Phil? There. There.
What was that last line?
Just that they're breaking women into the workplace. That's all I put. I didn't put anything about what the factory owner
No,
said.
what was that last line you removed?
The factory owner saying that there's always somebody right for the job. Oh, that could probably have been the line then. There's always somebody right for the job. There's a strike. You take the most desperate and pay them as little as possible to be union scabs. That may have been what he was objecting to. It's the only thing I can think of, certainly, but at least gives him something to write. Who do we want to give the movie star one to? Movie star... Frank, I want to give something kind of beefy.
The movie star... Let's see if Anne will take it. I don't think she will.
No, she took it.
She's the...
She's married, though. So she might see it as, you know, with the sensational title about how he's divorcing his 8th wife and ruining the sanctity of marriage.
Interesting.
She might appeal, that might appeal to her. I think that either Frank or Julie would like the brothel one.
Okay.
Just because that one's lovely.
You have to be careful what you give to Frank.
Yes.
Because if you give him something that is too inspirational, he will go off and help them.
Blah. No, Frank. No, I'm trying not to have you lost here. We need one more. Do we want...
We need a neutral article, otherwise it'll be too much negative too quickly. Do the teaching material and make it look nice.
Okay, new teaching materials in all state schools. Current materials in school are outdated and incorrect. All teaching materials will be replaced with updated material. The new material will be examined by government officials to ensure it is proper and relevant.
You might remove the last line.
Yeah, because anything that screams that.
First line.
Well, the first line isn't terrible.
You're making the government look bad because they currently have outdated and incorrect materials.
But they're making the effort to fix it.
Now.
Fair enough, okay. I'm gonna see what the other title is. Government plans to censor teaching materials in state schools. Nope. Nope.
See?
Yeah.
They're playing. There's not much information in there that could be possibly bad, but Frank won't like it.
Nope.
Oh, he will. Good, because he was already highly suspicious.
Yes, we are giving you... It's better than what I did to him before. I gave him all the fluff articles about the movie star, because I didn't want him to get taken away to the gulag. Okay, we send it to print, and now we get another cutscene. I think we'll do one more week after this, and then we'll end the video here. So now they're cramming down propaganda in school. I honestly can't believe this crap. Calm down, Frank. I've seen the books my son brings home from school. They're ancient. They've been due for an update for years. Minor typo there. I don't think that's the point, Anne. This will give the loyalists full control over what children believe is right or wrong. This is nothing more than an excuse to force-feed kids with their bullshit propaganda. Oh, come off it. If the government doesn't pick the books, who will? Your precious rebels? Maybe.
They wouldn't pick books.
I mean, I'm sympathetic to the rebels. I am. We lost a ton of popularity down here, but that's actually okay, I think. We really need viewership up here, where it's more loyalist if we want to try and convert them. Okay. We're more rebel, more suspicious of us, and we didn't really gain or lose anything this last week. We've got mail. Duh. That's ominous. Dear editor, as you are probably aware by now, when we were finally able to stop the notorious Northern Herald from spreading their lies to the public, we were also forced to shut down their affiliated marketing agency. As it so happens, your paper, the Westport Independent, used the same agency. This means that from now on, you'll have to take care of advertising yourselves. Additionally, because of your affiliation with the perpetrators, we'll be keeping a close eye on you for the time being, the Loyalist Party of Westport. Oh, lovely. Okay. Dear editor, one of your employees, Frank, has recently written quite a few questionable articles for your paper. We expect you to show Show your people proper discipline in order to prevent such events such as these, especially since the regarded employee has a history of disloyal behavior. You will do well to remember that reluctance in this matter will reflect poorly not only on your employee, but on you as well. The Loyalist Party of Westport.
Okay.
That wasn't exactly subtle.
How are the employees looking?
Let's see. Anne's got more suspicion than she did.
That article did not help Frank.
Come on, Frank. We didn't give you the fluff article, but we pretty much did. Phil
wrote it to be very bad.
Probably, knowing him. Phil hasn't changed any. Julie, well, she was always a little rebel, but now she's got a little bit of suspicion on her. Frank! Just don't go throwing Molotov cocktails, please. I guess that might be a little bit too much to ask. Let's look at the articles here.
Oh, you said let's wrap up, so...
Yep, so we're gonna end the video here. We will be filming a bit more. We just want to make sure that everything is working properly. So, once again, this is Mithrila being joined by Mr. Mithrila. And if you like what we're doing here, you feel free to like and subscribe. If you would like to see more of these videos, also please feel free to leave a comment, and I will try my best to respond to your comments.